This lesson is all about dynamics in Wolfram Language. So after this lesson, we'll be able to create a manipulate, we'll be able to create sliders and buttons, and we'll be able to construct code with dynamic outputs. One of the most user-friendly ways to make interactive outputs in Wolfram Language is by using the function manipulate. Manipulate works pretty much exactly like table. It uses a function on each variable that you give it. The difference is that table returns a list of outputs for every possible value, while manipulate changes our output by changing the variable using a dynamic control, like a slider. So table will give us the output from using the function, in this case adding 5, on each variable. It just gives us the list as an output. And manipulate will give us an interactive output that lets us change which variable we're using the function on, with our little slider. We can also change the way that manipulate lets us choose the variable. The function will choose whichever method of changing the variable, also called the control type, it thinks is best for the type of values that you give it, but you can specify. So for example, we could ask our manipulate to give us a pop-up menu or a radio button bar, and those let us do different things. There are loads of different possible control types, and those can be everything from radio button bars to setter menus to sliders to toggle bars to triggers, vertical sliders, all kinds of things. Of course, we're not limited to using numbers, and just like in table, we can also use lists of values instead of a range. So for example, if I wanted to color negate one of these 3 images, it'll give me a nice little set of buttons that allow me to change what image I am color negating. We can even manipulate multiple things by adding another argument with the specification for a second variable. So for this example, I'd like to be able to pick between if I want to apply color negate or blur, and I want to be able to do it on any one of these 3 images. And now I can fiddle around and I can color negate a penguin, and I can blur a tiger, do whatever combination of those things that I would like to do. To make our manipulate look a little nicer, we can label the choices and we can give it a default. So for this, I would like to start out with blurring my Skittles, and I'd like to label color function and choose image. And here we go. I have a nice little output where I can change whatever I want, and they're nicely labeled, and I have my default set. If we want to build something that's dynamic, meaning that there are values that will be changing, we might need to use Dynamic and DynamicModule, which are the basic functions that make up a manipulate. Dynamic lets us change the value of a variable without running a new line of code. We can also use it to show the value updating in real time as we change it. So let's make a little slider that dynamically updates the value of x, and then underneath it we're going to print the value of x. And now when I move the slider back and forth, the value of x will change. If we call our changing variable outside of dynamic, we'll need to reevaluate the variable for every change. So now when I change my slider, this non-dynamic x doesn't change. But if I rerun x, then now it updates to be what I asked the slider for. We can use dynamic with buttons too. The button function takes a label as its first argument and an action, or piece of code, as its second argument. Every time we click our button, it'll run the code for that action. This button below is going to print the current time in a new cell to tell us the current time. Obviously that's printing in a new cell, and maybe we don't want that. If we want to update the value of a variable every time we click the button, we can use dynamic. Now, every time I click the button, the variable time gets updated to the current time. Another cool thing we can use with dynamic is input fields, which allow us to have more free-form input from the user. So if I make an input field with a dynamic version of the value input, and then I ask to show the dynamic or the value input, then now I can type into my input field whatever I want, and underneath it will tell me what I put in the box. So that's pretty cool. The last thing we're going to look at today is DynamicModule. With dynamic, the variable gets changed in the whole notebook whenever we change it with our control. If we change the value of x on one slider, x changes everywhere, including in the code in the section all the way above. So let's make 2 sliders for a dynamic x and print the dynamic x. Now every time I move any of the sliders, it's going to change my input X here, and it will also change it everywhere else in the notebook because it's all called X. You can, though, restrict where a variable changes to just inside the relevant lines of code by using DynamicModule. DynamicModule, just like module that we've talked about before, takes in a list of local variables as the first argument, and an expression to evaluate with those variables as a second argument. Now, if I move the slider, it doesn't change the sliders outside of the line of code, and it doesn't change the value of X anywhere else in the notebook. So in this lesson, we've covered how to use dynamic and manipulate functions to change the value of a variable. Our key takeaways from this lesson are that manipulate lets us create dynamic output really easily, and it uses a syntax very similar to table. Dynamic and DynamicModule let us create dynamic output. DynamicModule provides more interface flexibility than manipulate does. Within DynamicModule, we use dynamic to indicate which parts of our code are going to be updating. The dynamic and manipulate functions are going to be really important as we start to work on our video game development project. Amazing. Looking forward to seeing you in the next lesson.